Buongiorno. We're not in Italy, we're still in France. We're in the beautiful little riverside town of Danvy, is that it? Damvix in English if you want. We are here to explore the Marais Poitevin region and to have a nice picnic, I suppose, along the river with the doggy dogs. You're finally becoming a proper Labrador. We had a guide. It wasn't what we were expecting. We were expecting the guide to give us lots of information about the region, the house on the edge of the water, the waterways, and we didn't get that much. He gave us some information, so we learned that the area we were in is called the Marais Poitevin, and the entire area has 8,500 kilometers of water, but the commune of Damvix holds the most amount of kilometers, which is 40. Something else he mentioned was that there are 3 species that are currently destroying the area. Rats that dig holes in the bed in the edge of the waterways to create their nests, which is making the edges of the soil crumble slowly, which is not good. They used to have crayfish in the region, but all the indigenous species have died. I believe that it's American crayfish that has come into the region, has eaten all the other crayfish, and the American crayfish and catfish, because apparently there are catfish in the region, they live off eggs from other species, so the other species are slowly starting to die out. And there are almost no native creatures, animals that live anymore in the area. Something else we learned from the guide is actually the Vendée wasn't supposed to be called the Vendée. They initially took the name from 2 rivers in the region called L'Alais. It was called Le, but then they thought it's too close to the word Le, which is a synonym for moche, which means ugly. Therefore I imagine them putting the names of every river and stream in the whole region, putting them in a hat and then shaking it and pulling a name out, and so that's basically what I've been told they did. They just picked a name out, which happened to be the Vendée, and that's why the Vendée is now called and known as the Vendée. I hadn't planned on filming. We are going to a Marché des Producteurs, and I realized that I'd sort of talked about it in one of my previous videos and thought it would be a great opportunity to show you what one was like, so here you are. It's really loud in here. I have no idea if you can hear me, but I'll try and speak loudly. I feel I need to mention that this Marché des Producteurs is quite different to ones I'm used to. So far, whenever I've been to one, generally it's in outdoors, it's in a field, in a park, and there's a lot of people, live music, there seems to be live music getting ready, but as I said, a lot more people, whereas here it seems very calm. And my mother has had the amazing idea of saying, why don't we go for pizza? Yes. What I love about a marché de producteurs is that even though this one is quite small and you get really big ones, you can go up to the producers and you can find out where the food is from, how they make it. So for instance, those little cakes that we saw at one point, back in the old days, all the women in the village at Easter in particular, they would gather all the eggs because they don't keep. And they would make that cake, and they would just use all of it. And the crust around it, that is made from water and flour, and back in the day it was too hard to be eaten. So they would use it to cook the cake, sort of the mixture, but then they would take the crust and then feed it back to the chickens, so nothing would be wasted. And there are loads of little farmers like this. You have some rabbits, duck, you can find out where your food comes from, how it's made, what's used to make it. And I find it really interesting, and you get fun stories of the producers of how they came into the business, what inspired them to do this. And there's a very loud motorbike across the street, so I'll leave it there.
Alors la noire sera un peu plus forte en alcool, plus torréfiée et un peu plus d'amertume. La brune sera moins amère.
Right, we are home. We didn't end up buying that much from the marché producteur. I've been told that this was actually the last one in the region, and so some productors were saying that there aren't that many people because it's the last one. It's the last week of holiday, so most people are leaving today or tomorrow to get home before the start of school again. And yeah, so not much to buy. We bought some products based from saffron. Mum and Dad bought some rabbit stuff. Dad bought himself some beer, of course. So now the plan is to raid the freezer and the fridge, see if there's anything to eat tonight. So after all that, there's nothing planned for the rest of the weekend, I think. So I'm just gonna leave it here. So thanks for watching and see you next time.